welcome. Since I've been doing TERA for a while now, many of you have been asking what settings do I use or what changes did I do install the game. What I did was fix the UI lag, and by going into the options menu in the audio, turn down the bass SFX audio all the way to 0, it should reduce the UI lag by quite a bit. So if you want to reroll stats on your items or try to enhance them, you should be having a way better time. Now when it comes to the video settings that I use while I will go over them, the most important things that you have to keep in mind and I feel are the shadows and the lighting efficiency. And getting a pretty good performance out of it.
I'll share what I know.
Now for the next piece that I use, thanks to Red Castle at TERA today, and I will put the download link in the description of the video down below, where you can also so what this basically does is also and while that's annoying, especially if you're a priest, in party settings and raids such as Corsair Stronghold and whatnot, it will be a pretty considerable FPS. So you have to download the file.
like I said, it's one of 3 MMOs I was really looking forward to. Let's just jump right into the character creators. You can see
Don't
I've
push
already,
yourself so
started
hard.
one character, but I want to show you.
You look
let's do a new
troubled.
one. Show you
Well,
all the different
stay
options.
strong.
So there's a lot of options. Thank God in this MMO that the character creator is somewhat extensive. And I just gotta say, this game is freaking beautiful. The character models are so awesome looking. The designs of you know, so I'm a huge fan of that. So there's a ton of races. We got 7 different races here. Oh, Potpourri, look at this little cute guy. Oh, jeez. Here, let me. So that's a Potpourri. So there's humans, Castanics, and check out the female models. Damn. So that's another thing about TERA that the game has been getting a lot of flack over. As you can tell, the females in the game are very, very sexy. I mean, they barely have any clothes on. They like to show skin, but come on, guys, it's a fantasy game. You know, it's who cares? I get so sick and tired of people bitching about that. But another thing that the other part of the controversy was this, the Aelin or Elin, which, as you can see, they're kind of a little girl. Might jump in and create a Potpourri guy, just because that's funny. Let's check that out real quick. Dudes, and then of course high elves. You've always got these guys in the game. Jeez! It's skill-based. You actually have to line up your shots. You can move around.
It's overwhelming.
You're not just hitting a button and then watching an animation play out. So we'll pick a warrior here. God, I cannot get over how beautiful this game is. I mean, look at this. This is really awesome. You know, I don't normally play women in games, but I don't know. These, I might want to. Oh my God! The character does the makeup, and I'm sure for guys, there's like scars on there and stuff. But you know, if I'm gonna play a game for hours and hours, it's nice to know that you got something good to look at. Alright, fine details. Oh, look at this. Bone structure, eyes, nose, mouth, ears. I mean, there's everything here. This is like almost as extensive as like Skyrim's system. So this is really nice to see. The outfit. Pick an outfit. I really like this. Oh, nice. She's like half naked. Like a bikini thong thing going on. This one is cool. I really like that. You know what I mean about the character models? I mean, this is pretty awesome. Let's go and check out the guys now. Sorcerer, Archer, Priest. Which you don't see very often. I guess it's your healer class, actually. And a Mystic, which is more of a support class. Archer, of course, you know, ranged. Sorcerer magic. Berserker. It's like we'll get to be burst DPS and use metal armor versus a Slayer, which is well, sort of the same, but it's sort of lighter armor, a little bit faster, high damage attacks. Lancer is the slow one. I played this one for a little bit, didn't like it too much, just because you know you're mostly rooted while you do your attacks, and that's what's making this game different. Is that you don't have to be on the move. But this guy likes to use his shield a lot and his long range, big ass weapon. The warrior I played so far the longest with a female character, and it's actually been pretty damn fun. But I'm gonna go ahead and choose a berserker. So we'll start with get preset face. That's a oh no, this one. Yeah, buddy. That hair. Yes. Alright, fine details. I'm not gonna waste your time going through those, but I do want to show you the outfits on Angry Joe, so. Hell yeah. what I want. Fucking heavy armor, steel armor. Can't get that with the Slayer. This is with the Berserker or the what was the other one? The Lancer. But yeah, that's how cool your guy can look in the game. But I already got a character, so let's jump into some early level gameplay with our female character. Alright, so here we have my female warrior class, and I'm about to just started level 1, really fresh. These are the first monsters that you fight right out of the gate. Just starting. So you'll see right away that what TERA means when they say true action combat or whatever. This is basically an action MMO. It's not the point in watching animation play out. It actually is based on skill, you know, position, timing, your aim, all matter in combat. If you notice the loot he just dropped, they actually have like icons for the loot in the real world. I didn't do a very good job of dodging, so let me try this again over here. See, that's exactly how you dodge right there. And there's a lot of moves and abilities that allow you to keep moving while you attack. So it's really dynamic. Like I said,
Speak
it's
plainly,
an action
friend.
MMO. This is one of 2 MMOs that are looking to buck the trend. You know, this
I
and
must
Guild
have missed
Wars 2.
something.
So let's take a look
Style meets
at handing
style.
in quests here. Essentially, this is to grab some new skills. Now, obviously, not like
Don't
Star Wars:
push
The Old
yourself so
Republic,
hard.
where it zooms in and you get a nice big conversation wheel. Here, you actually have to read some text because you know they're just going to talk. But I'm going to go ahead and learn this new skill here. Bunch of like a sort of flurry attacks. You can learn skills. Let's see, put it right here in the UI, which by the way, the UI is really good. Because your mouse is locked down and you're aiming with your mouse, you can just hit the Alt button, and then you can kind of explore around the UI. As you can see the map on the right side. It's really helpful. I love how it's right there. Let's test out one of these builds. There it goes. Nice, real big flashy animation there.
Bam!
See, very cool. Gosh, it's so fun to look at and watch. And it turns all these smaller engagements with just these, you know, what were supposed to be boring enemies in other MMOs. You're actually engaged because, you know, you're trying to maneuver behind him, you're trying to avoid his attacks. Every monster has like a little tell when they're about to attack, and it's really fun to figure that out and how many times he attacks you. Well, let me show you some other characters here. We got a Berserker. This is my Angry Joe character as a Berserker. And his second attack is the block right there, just there. So that's a secondary attack, you know, with your mouse buttons. You've got your left click and right click. Left click is, you know, your attacks, and right click is usually your dodge or your secondary attack. And here's my archer, so I'll show you the archer. This almost makes the game play like a shooter because you're aiming, trying to kill that guy right before he gets to me. You see my secondary attack with the archer is just a dodge where he just like does a little jump backwards. The girl's dodge looks a lot better. It's like, you know, Darth Maul doing like a butterfly kick backwards. So Archer is kind of like the easiest class I think to play because I can usually gun down these people before they even get near me. And here's the Elin. Look at the way I create a little bunny character for Amanda to check out while we were playing. And so this is a sorceress. So show us a little bit like a... That's the second attack there. That's a little bit like an archer, except for a lot more cool. The animations in this game are just so awesome, guys. Really liking it. And the fact with this combat system, it's a lot easier to get into an MMO, at least for me, because I'm finding that I'm just not really an MMO guy. So here you can see the inventory system, the character system. quest log, skills, all sorts of stuff. You can get like pets. You can, create new items. You can see Amanda stamping her seal of approval for how cutesy the Elin is, and she likes that. Here's another thing I'm showing you, that this game, it's not only combat all the time and stuff like that. Although actually it kind of is. It's a little bit of a grind actually. But I did want to show you this just to show you that like you can interact with the environment in certain parts. At least you can climb up here. nice view there.
Stop being a pervert.
Whatever. But hey, not my fault. It's not my fault. So just kind of showing you, you can interact with the environment, which makes the environment feel a whole lot more alive and stuff. So again here, every once in a while though, during the quests, all they do, they emote and stuff. But every once in a while, you'll see, bam, it'll go into a story.
Head west and look for piglins clustered around a stand of trees. Vekas the Wicked has a thing for piglins, I guess. Let him pick on something his own size.
So this is sort of basically like a mini boss.
Please, something that's not a pig.
And here's another mini boss. This is later on in the starting area. These are all in the starting area, which usually in a lot of MMOs, your starting area is kind of boring, not that interesting. Level 1 through 5 or 1 through 10. But I had a lot of fun in the starting area, so let's try to take this guy on. I've got a bunch of new abilities that I've learned. I'm at a level 10 now. Oh, jeez. He's coming. He's swinging that thing. Activate that, and you can see the little pop-up comes up. It says spacebar, because there are certain abilities that can only be activated after you activate certain other ones. So you can kind of combo things together and create combos like that. You can see, yeah, knock his ass down. Now, fuck him up. Vortex. See, I could tell he was fixing to do something, like, so I got the hell out of there. Otherwise, I would have took massive damage. That attack also did massive damage. Earlier, you saw how, like, he had this little red thing on him, and then he attacked. That's, like, one of their really powerful attacks. You want to try to avoid that and dodge it. So dodging makes MMOs a lot more fun. Here is the, sort of the last boss of the starting section, just to show you. This is I'm showing you this because it's an important part of the game. It's not spoiling anything, really. You're going to be fighting a lot of big monsters. In fact, they like to call it the BAM, big-ass monsters, which help make the game even more fun and feel less like your typical MMO. Though a lot of MMOs do have this, but with the action-style gameplay, it's a lot different. You target your enemy with your crosshair. See, there's that red attack, and then if I got hit by that, I probably would have got fucked up. Get in here. I got somebody in my party. It said to do this with 5 guys. I thought, well, the cool thing about this MMO is you can go into areas and fight monsters that you're not normally able to fight yet because you're not strong enough. But you can do it if you're good enough. And you have a lot of skill, and you're good at dodging, and you make sure your attacks land, and that is really cool, because not a lot of other MMOs can say that. So, I went into this 5-man area with just me and one other guy, and we managed to do it. Though the other guy did bring along with him as well. So here, we got, I'm pretty much done with the starting area, and you will be able to fly a Pegasus out and away from the starting island. And this is a really awesome opportunity to once again show you how beautiful this game's environment is. I mean, it really is breathtaking. It's so freaking awesome. And it's good because if you're gonna be playing an MMO for a really long time, it's nice to look at something freaking vivid and awesome and bright. The graphics are way ahead of Star Wars, probably something like that. It's kind of boring and disappointing. But yeah, this looks really, really good. It might be a little bit serving as a little bit as a barrier of entry, actually. Got to check out the system specs. But I'm glad that they went the way of, we're a bunch of noobs, straight out of the starting area. So, kind of show you the skill-based gameplay for an MMO. I love the fact that, I'm not rooted. The Lancer guy, they have a lot more attacks that kind of root him, but he's also got that shield thing. But this little tight hallway is kind of making the camera freak out just a little bit. But I'm fucking him up pretty good here.
Don't push yourself so hard.
Gotta line up my shots. Bam! People are probably like, what the hell are these two guys doing? They're fighting in the hallway. Oh, he stunned me. So even though the warrior is more mobile than the lancer, he should have been executing that attack a lot more where it stuns me, actually, because that's what gives him his advantage. But he's a goner, and he knows it. I was a lower level character, able to take on a character 2 levels above me and still win. So, I mean, I really like that. I really like this skill-based system. It really makes it easier to get into. Now, it's more like a standard MMO, essentially, with the quests that you have to read, and it is a little bit grindy. I wish they would put in a little bit more variation. It's mostly like, go here, kill 8 things, go here, kill that. But there's an occasional escort mission and stuff like that. But overall, my impressions of the beta are really, really good. As you can see here, some little dancing here.
What is with that? Or Michael Jackson impression?
Yeah, so, I mean, the beta is a lot of fun. They're having a few more beta events. If you want to get in on this, all you have to do is pre-order the game and you're automatically in the beta. They've got a beta weekend every 2 weeks leading up to its release. The early start is at the end of April, and it launches May 1st, so you'll be able to get that 1 week head start last week of April. So that is TERA, and tell me, you guys tell me what you think. I really enjoyed the beta, and I think the fact that it is, the combat is a lot different from a lot of other MMOs has really helped out. And maybe I'm just not an MMO guy, and I'm kind of waiting on these 2 alternate MMO or game changer MMOs, TERA and Guild Wars 2, to kind of show me what they can offer, because I like the idea of a massive multiplayer game and things like that. And TERA in particular, one thing I forgot to talk about is it has a political system where you can go around and you can either do quests, taking down all these high-level monsters to become a lord of an area, or you can actually, have people vote for you. Get in your guild, have your guild go out there, spread the word about who you are, have people vote for you, and then when you get elected to office, you can put like NPCs in jail, you can open up shops, you can, raise taxes, lower taxes, there's some guild stuff and some events that you can set up, so really cool stuff, and you stay in power, I think, for like 3 weeks, and you have to earn political points to stay in power, stuff like that. So really, really interesting stuff. But again, let me know what you guys think of. And until then, I guess I'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Battle start!
Hang on, we'll see
First
the film
blood.
critics are calling.
laugh out loud funny, epic, and out of this world.
Good. Wait, it's at a what?
It's metaphorical! Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, rated PG-13. Now play.
Can't believe I'm about to do this, but go ahead and give me your best MMO.
Not a problem, sir. Here you go. Would you like a game guide?
No.
A pre-order?
No thanks.
How about a magazine?
No.
Scratch protection?
No.
Would you like to save your...
No!
That'll be $60 then, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, that'll be $15 more. $15 more, sir. That'll be $15. $15. $15. $15. That'll be $15.
The most important thing in an MMO is not the story, it's not the voiceovers, it's not the graphics or the cinematics. It's the gameplay, as it's what you're gonna be doing for hours and hours and hours on end. If the gameplay is stale and boring, you're not gonna wanna keep playing. Oh sure, sometimes you might force yourself through the grind like a zombie just to get your money's worth of the subscription that you know you're paying monthly. But why? Stop it! You don't need to do that. Instead, how about a game that never feels like a fucking chore? Guild Wars 2 eliminates a lot of those old MMO barriers that prevented people like me from getting into MMOs. You know, I could never really put my finger on why it was that I just couldn't get into Star Wars The Old Republic as much as I wanted to. And believe me, I wanted to.
I'll never join you, Dark Joe!
I said, but after playing Guild Wars 2, I finally know why. I know what it was. So let's take a look at why this new bold approach to MMOs will win you over. First off, it eliminates fetch quests and backtracking, two things that sucked in MMOs. You don't talk with an NPC, then you go do the quest, and then backtrack all the way back to wherever that NPC is. That's busy work. In Guild Wars 2, quests appear as hearts on the map. And once you're there, you could talk with a few people if you wish, or you could just start the activity right away. Also, there are usually a number of activities within the single quest, making it feel varied so you're not doing the same thing over and over and over, which is boring, like killing 3 rats and you're done. No.
So what are we supposed to do now?
All right, we're gonna need to catch a bunch of frogs and then put them in this juicer here and squeeze the juices out of them so we can create these potions to throw at poachers who are trying to steal these eggs from the brood mother here.
Oh, shit.
It's a crazy quest, but I'm totally serious. Start juicing. Now!
Okay, got it.
On a single quest, you could be repairing defensive fortifications, splashing water on lazy soldiers, and fighting off creatures as they try to attack very important cattle. There's some really fun and creative stuff here too, like launching yourself out from a catapult, or stealing food from bunnies to give to the bunny spirit as they try to stop you.
Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, hey, look there. It's a bunny. Hey there, little guy. What? Oh!
Another really good idea and change to the MMO formula is how you'll never get pissed off when somebody else shows up to help you. This game eliminates camping. That's when you see people standing around waiting for things to spawn, and if you just so happen to walk over at that moment and hit it first, then oh shit, you better be prepared for a fucking shitstorm of profanity and freaking death wishes coming your way. Wow. No, instead, you actually want people to show up and help you out. They all contribute to the single quest, or to taking down the boss, which levels up the more people who show up. Some quests even dynamically change according to how many people show up. Grouping happens automatically, and it is immediately social. The game naturally encourages that you guys work together and rewards you for working together, for reviving each other. Overall, it is a much better community because of this mechanic.
That was a really awesome battle. That was cool, guys.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the first ones, like the big ones. Yeah, that's the very first one, so it's really weak and easy.
World events randomly spawn throughout the map, which can take players on a multi-mission objective that can end with a boss where like 30 or 40 of you are trying to take them down together. After which, the world is changed in a small way to make it feel as if you were actually doing something, that you accomplished something. It simulates that great feeling of discovery and exploration that is present in more single-player focused games like Skyrim. Whereas in other MMOs, exploration is unimportant or actually punishes you for exploring. In Guild Wars 2, there are so many rewards for this. It's addicting and motivating. You just keep wanting to reveal the entire map. And if you do, you get 100% completion in an area, you get a big XP bonus and some high-level loot.
Let's fucking do this shit. I just discovered this puzzle for Narnia. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's almost there. Hey, one more. Fucking yeah. I fucking did it. Fucking did it, guys. What the fuck is this? What is loading? Oh.
Joe.
Oh,
That's not the jumping puzzle.
No.
This is the jumping puzzle.
Look at this shit. I mean, it's cool that it has this in the game. What the fuck is it doing? It's fucking dead. He fucking died. This fucking dude just jumped to his death. Let's do it. Ugh. Let's fucking do it, man. Let's do it. I don't care. I got this shit. I got this shit. I got this shit. I got this shit. Fuck!
But in my opinion, one of the biggest and most superior changes or differences in Guild Wars 2 is how your skills are tied to the weapon your character has equipped. These skills are even different depending on the type of profession that you are. So a warrior wielding that great sword will have a completely different set of skills than, say, a mesmer or a guardian. Finding the ones you like best will help you pick your class. And every class does play and feel differently. Furthermore, at level 7, you have the ability to swap weapon sets on the fly at the push of a button. That allows you to create some pretty hard-hitting weapon combos. The game handles the idea of dual wielding better than any other game in its genre. You get 2 or 3 additional unique skills depending on which hand you're using it in. The primary hand for slots 1, 2, 3, or an offhand for slots 4 and 5. So all these different possibilities, all these weapons, depending on which hand they're in, depending on what profession you are, depending on what weapon you prefer, makes for huge deep customization for each class. And that's in addition to their own unique skills, abilities, and elite spells. Having skills tied to the weapons, further modified by the professions, allows so much more possibilities for the future, with new unique weapons and skills that can be added later. Now, compare that with the traditional idea of having one set of skills based upon your class and that's it, never being able to change.
Surrender your mind
can't
to
go
magic's
back.
power.
I need the ability to switch my weapons now. And because combat in Guild Wars 2 is skill-based, it is a lot more fun than just watching animations play out.
Greetings!
You move a lot more, you dodge. And that allows you to take monsters that are much higher levels than you if you have enough skill. This is just the shit that makes the game so fucking kick-ass. And then there's underwater combat, which looks, sounds, and plays badass. That's right. Underwater combat that is actually good.
You look troubled.
The gameplay in Guild Wars 2 is its biggest strength, that's for sure. But it doesn't end there. The personal storyline itself is independent from those world events, and it's told through character-specific instances that can be joined by other party members if they want to. They can even accept your version of the storyline as they go along if they're playing on the same path. There are a ton of small variations on the story as you go along, depending on the choices that you make. Yes, branching storylines. There are potentially thousands of variations on your personal story, which gives this shit a huge amount of replayability. With all the variations, though, at some point, the character is gonna have to make a decision between 3 orders that all have their independent philosophies on how to deal with the Elder Dragons. For example, selecting the Vigil in the Norn storyline will have you take missions head-on, fighting enemies just with brute force. While selecting the Shadow of Orders will have you bypass that enemy force, sneaking around back and actually attacking the boss directly on. And each have their own unique flavor missions, like drunken pirate drinking contests.
A memorable meeting.
Towards the latter levels of your story, you will begin to fight massive dragons. This isn't just a one-on-one battle. No, this is a huge
Time
affair
is precious.
with hundreds of other players, taking up war machines, turrets, using every mana
Looks like
that you
someone
can
played
think
a
of
trick
to take
on you.
down this dragon.
Don't worry, guys. I got this. I read it in a book. I know how to stop it. You just need to soothe him. Soothing dance. Everybody, good vibes. Good vibes. Now watch. He'll calm down. Good vibes. I don't think he's calming down. Oh my god. Holy shit! It's not working! Oh fuck! Everybody run!
It all culminates into a final battle with Zaitan, one of the Elder Dragons. Because of all this, and the dungeons that tie themselves nicely into the storyline, this MMO feels epic, as it should. It feels massive. And we haven't even talked about PvP and World vs. World yet. There are all of these great changes and things that they add to the game, yet they still manage to have time to put in the little detail, which help to bring the game to life, like every item in the game having its own set of weapon skills. They also included a rally system, which allows you to recover after death in both PvE and PvP. It's far more heroic to go down and still be in the fight for just a bit longer, with the possibility of reviving. It adds a new layer of strategy to both. And it eliminates the cheapness of, like, massive bosses having just that sliver of life left before you die and you have to fucking start all over again. Gone and good riddance. Some animals in the world even have, like, 2 minutes of animation loops. I sat there and watched and was entertained by all the small little things happening. Little funny conversations or things that you might miss if you're not paying attention.
You got anything better to do than breathe down my neck?
This is my job. I'm the mayor of Meatstoberfest. I have to treat you right.
Mayor, we never elected you.
I've won the barbecue competition 10 years in a row. That qualifies me. Break those coals nice and slow. You do your job, and I'll do mine.
The story dialogue itself is played out with full voiceovers and with a cinematic style. Not quite the level of Star Wars The Old Republic. It gets the job done, and considering how much else this game gets right, it's unimportant.
I'm looking for my contact, a member of the Orc.
Shh. Apples for sale. Nothing but apples to see here, folks. What part of secret society wasn't explained to you? Keep your voice down, initiate, and pretend you're buying an apple.
Crafting lets you create your own items, armor sets, and weapons. You can even cook cinnamon rolls and chocolate cake. And Guild Wars 2 brings its set of fresh ideas to crafting as well. Everything is organized so well. You will be really thankful if you craft a lot in other games. You have what's called collectibles, which you can easily deposit to your bank from anywhere to free up space in your inventory. Then when you're ready to craft, you can easily retrieve all those collectibles that you deposited from your bank in a really nice layout that is categorized. And the crafting itself is much faster than what's available in other MMOs. Each item is created at half the speed of the previous one. This makes crafting fun instead of a timed chore, and I find myself doing it a hell of a lot more in this game. Discovering item recipes rewards you the most experience, helping you level up the skill fast. But do not forget to collect all the materials you see, especially at early level. There are also over 370 dyes that you can apply to your clothing and armor. You can get these through in-world loot, or you can purchase them from the store in sets of like 4, I think it is. Applying these to your armors really helps you stand out in the world. Guilds really improve gameplay considerably through helpful people in the guild chat, like my own Angry Army, guild stashes with item sharing, even wearable guild armors and emblems that can be raised over conquered castles in World vs. World mode. This game has a little bit of something for everyone. There's even stealth gameplay, there's mini games like Keg Brawl, the Mystic Forge allowing you to create exotic weapons. Hell, there's even some challenging jumping puzzles as you're trying to explore vistas. The music. I have to talk about the music. This music is as beautiful as the mosaic-like art design in the game. Both combine to sell the world of TERA to you. Jeremy Soule is a genius. I even play his tracks when I'm not even playing the damn game in my car as I drive. That is my epic soundtrack. That's the soundtrack to my life. They are absolutely beautiful, and they are just perfect for each other.
Fortune smiles
Let's
on
talk
us.
a little bit about PvP.
We
so
honor
PvP
each
can be
other.
accessed from anywhere in the world. All you have to do is hit your character tab and go into the Heart of Mists, which is like this interactive lobby. It also serves as the tutorial for PvP, where you can equip your character with lots of different weapons and equipment, all based on what you like. And I think one of the most awesome things is that everybody is up leveled to level 80. And what this does is it makes it a level playing field for everybody. Nobody has this insane advantage because you got some mystic Jabba-Dooba-Zee-Da or something like that. No, you're all about the same, and the only advantages you get is if you build your character smartly. You tweak your character through customization of your skills and your traits, which this stuff gets really deep, and you have percentages and different abilities that are activated as you fight, whether you build for critical damage or sustained. It's all really, really deep and engaging. Now, structured PvP focuses on 8 vs 8 area control between two teams, red and blue. And because it's not immediately clear who is the trinity of MMOs, you know, the tank, the healer, the DPS, it's a lot more challenging and interesting and surprising to get into these battles with different people. Eventually, it has its own learning curve, but when you figure it out, it really clicks and it's really rewarding. Finally, we come to World vs. World, which is the unique feature of Guild Wars 2, a really cool mode. And it's basically 3 servers of 500 players each facing off against each other on a huge map. You've got mini dungeons underground.
Looking for me
and players
specifically?
Can besiege structures
A meeting
like,
of allies.
Keeps, towers,
Watch your back
castles,
out there.
all with siege weaponry. Like trebuchets,
May memory
catapults,
endure.
battering rams.
An
I see a
auspicious
lot
visit.
of people making the mistake in World vs. World just attacking the door
Such
of a
urgency.
castle, which is going to take you a really long time.
Greetings.
You have to be smart and bring siege
For the
weapons to the
Federation.
battle, like a battering ram or a catapult or trebuchet. You also battle over resources, which helps you to build these different things. And wins in this mode reward you and your server. It's a persistent battle that keeps going, that's ever evolving, and that's always interesting, especially if you can roll with your guild mates and throw up your banners.
Literally, we're on a dominant server.
Yeah,
they do.
They're trying to match us up to a worthy opponent.
And they failed.
Unfortunately, the queue times for World vs. World are fucking insane and are unacceptable. I don't know what ArenaNet needs to do, maybe expand the 500 player limit to something bigger, or create different overflow servers for World vs. World, but these queue times of between 3 to 5 hours just to get in, it's unacceptable. And my clan, myself, I try to set up events, and you can't set them up because you're sitting there in a queue for hours on end, and you never know when you're going to get in. So that needs to be taken care of. That's a huge problem right now. So as you can see, the game isn't without its faults, and every game has them. We must talk about them. Here's a quick list of things that aren't so good. There's no party queuing in structured PvP, which makes grouping and playing with your friends kind of difficult. Also, there is no rating system. Why? Instead, you have to mail each other items. So if you're looking to trade with somebody, good luck. Because you might send them an item and then get something completely different back or nothing back. You're kind of screwed. I don't understand that choice. There could also be better character customization, like more faces and more armor sets and variation at the lower levels. It's going to seem to me like you're rolling around in the same armor set until about higher levels, about level 30 or plus, is when things start opening up. But there needs to be more armors and stuff for lower levels to make it fun. I ended up having to buy a skin, which was cheap, and I was more than happy to because I was really enjoying the rest of the game, and there's no monthly fee, so I bought a skin. But I think there needs to be more armors for lower levels. The game's dungeons at the moment also need some serious balancing because the armor and the loot that you get as you go along isn't really up to par. by the end of my first dungeon, our faces were just melted off. We were literally naked. Our armor had imploded, and we were naked. And also, it seems from the economy and the training system that ArenaNet will do some sort of official, quote-unquote official gold selling, is the way I'm looking at it, through gems which can be converted into gold. This can be met with mixed reactions because it can affect the economy, which I'm not really that concerned with because it does put a serious hamper on, like, illegal gold farmers and that annoying shit. However, even with all of these rights, none of them take away from the game in any significant way, and some of them are actually being worked on as we speak. So, in review, ultimately, the amount of content for $60, what you get here for your money, is absolutely insane. The world is massive. It has to be at least 3 times bigger than, like, Skyrim or Oblivion. And that's just single player. For endgame content, you have structured PvP, you have tournaments, you have 8 different dungeons in the world. You have mini-games, you have all the different races and their different storylines and the branches in those storylines. And all of this is free of fucking monthly subscriptions. What? All of it is free of monthly subscriptions. You pay $60 once for Guild Wars 2, and that shit is yours. Nobody asks for $15 from you every month to continue to create content. No. I really don't know how they do their money model. I guess LOL has proven that microtransactions can help sustain a game, but I was really surprised at the lack of things that you can buy in the marketplace, at least right now. I actually wanted to see more skins. I was willing to buy more skins on the marketplace to support this game, because this is a lot of shit for $60. Guild Wars 2 is the nail in the coffin. It is the final nail in the coffin for pay-to-play subscription model MMOs. I shudder to think about all of those that spend $15 monthly when there's something like this out there. The game has actually managed to deliver on most of its hype, unlike a lot of games recently. It's done this with its fresh mechanics, its well-done execution, and through being an unparalleled value for your money. And that is why my final verdict for Guild Wars 2 is a 10 out of 10. Legendary. With a badass seal of approval. Now let me get this straight before you start bitching. There has never been a perfect game. Ever. The rating simply means that these games are worth every penny of their purchase price, often 3 times over. They are games that deserve a spot in your library if you call yourself a gamer. Ones that demand to be replayed immediately after you're done with them. Games that all other games within its genre will be compared to. They set the bar in some aspect. The game does have some flaws. It does have some issues. But none of those take away from the whole experience. And the simple fact is, I have had more fun in Guild Wars 2 PvP and PvE than any other MMO ever. It's put a new spin on old ideas, improving them with its dynamic quests, skill-based classes, branching storylines, eliminating busy work and backtracking, rewarding and motivating world exploration like no other MMO, and the level of natural social interaction and encouragement. And all of this without a fucking monthly fee that we have been chained to for all of these years. Proving that all of that can be done. How can you not think that this game is legendary status. Go out and get this game right now and join us. It's not like a five-man party. It's like a big-ass party. The whole game is a big-ass party. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show and on the eternal battlefields with the Angry Army.
This world. What? Wait, is that a white Oracle! Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, rated PG-13. Now playing.
You done fucked it up. Elder Scrolls Online is like playing pretend. Let's pretend to be you together. Let's pretend that this is an open sandbox world. Let's pretend that we are playing the Elder Scrolls. Well, that's all bullshit. Besides getting paint jobs, solid sound design, and absolutely beautiful and nostalgic soundtrack, the nagging fact is none of it feels like the effective state of Elder Scrolls. Not the book. Of the heart and soul. Player housing, no pride, the best thing. Locked off to you unless you pay extra for the collector's edition.
Welcome, my friends! Now, before you get out of the prison and experience what it's like to quest online in Elder Scrolls, that'll be $60. Oh, very good. Oh, by the way, this is Thank you very much. Oh, yes, that's good money right there. Now, say, you truly like to experience all this game has to offer, correct? Well, then the only way to do that is to travel around on a horse, collect mini facts that you like to be a part of, and have access to the 10th Imperial race, only available for $20 a day. Better not say Thank you too, sir. And you too, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. We better get it all up front, you know what I'm saying?
The areas that are playable are massive, and it's going to take you tons of hours to complete. So, what's the goal? There's no doubt. At least 140 hours. But what does a wealth of content actually matter in the way that it should if it's so painfully average?
Yes, I would disagree with that.
And lots of wow moments in the game that it's almost insulting to its license, which have been bar-setting games for more than a decade. Especially when you consider the demand $15 a month to play, requiring a payment card before you're even allowed to play the $60 worth of days. Playing it these past few weeks will not be able to shake the feeling of every single beta that has been multiple games at launch, as every MMO usually has. But it's no less frustrating, and it's sometimes hilarious.
What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Really? I'm just... What the fuck? What this fucking what? I couldn't fucking...
Loading seems to take for like hours, especially in the... for the amount of gold you're gonna get. my fucking 2 gold. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
It literally is 2 gold. 2 fucking gold? Well, holy shit, Grandpa Elder. You're so fucking generous. Maybe this has to do with how mounts are ridiculously expensive, making the Oblivion Horse Armor DLC debacle look tame in comparison. Zenimac clearly has priced the horses so that it would be unreasonably difficult.
Start to rob it. $60 a pop and $15 a month. That's just a shameful display!
A shameful display?
Especially with no real auction house other than guild stores to earn gold in-game more effectively. Tactics like these put your audience on edge right at the beginning of the area.
It's an MMO for fuck's sake.
It's like I can't fucking decide whether it wants to be a single player Elder Scrolls game, which is not good enough to be, or an MMO version of Elder Scrolls.
This is the most unsocial PvE MMO I've ever played. So what's the point? Especially when I can fire up Skyrim or Oblivion with mods. You'll never see players from other factions in your world besides Cyrodiil, and even if you complete everything to level 50, when you play in the other faction areas through a story loophole, you still only see players from your own original faction. What the hell? Sharing quests only works if you haven't completed any part of that quest, meaning if you already did it, you will never be able to go back and play it again. You can't go back and help a friend level in this MMO. You have to just sit around,
as they become a floating arrow constantly to just do it themselves. This type of shit even extends into quests together. You will be doing puzzles one by one, activating nodes, even though people in your group have already done it already.
You know, another thing is you have to do the puzzles all yourself. Like, you can't work with your team on the puzzle. Every single member of your group needs to do the puzzle on their own, which I don't like.
I need to speak with you.
It defeats the purpose of grouping. There's no collective completion. Everyone feels like they're playing a fucking single-player game 2 feet away from each other. Asking constantly if, oh, did you get this finished? Or where are you headed next? Or, man, just to let me know where you're headed next. Because this game doesn't keep us together.
No, I mean the reason why you can't get it.
What you need? Oh, did you get anywhere close to killing him, though?
No.
This had to have been the most important thing to get right. Nope. Apparently, that wasn't an experience that was important to ZeniMax Online. You know, they prefer having constant strangers fly into your dungeon, murder everything in sight without so much as a peep in chat. Then you start to resent other players as they take resources or ruin your perfectly laid out stealth plans by just charging the fuck in, bunny hopping the whole way. Clearly a tactic they must have read in one of the many lore books.
Look at how awesome, like, isn't this so stealthy? How everybody's, like, running around, like, everybody be quiet, we're trying to hide.
Yeah,
and we're all
best
running
needs
around
for
here, like,
hiding.
ruining your experience.
She doesn't even care. She's like, oh, there's a monkey in here. Oh well.
She doesn't, does she see me? Like, I'm running around.
And why can't resources have been instanced to everyone individually instead of creating these fights and anger and brawls towards each other for getting them? Now, regular quests in the game, PvE, are inconsistent.
You hungry? Don't push yourself so hard.
Ugh.